Going back to Jamel Herring, is this a crossroads fight for you? Is this a must-win for your career against Jamel Herring?
Must win, absolutely must win. And that's what I'm preparing. Well, I will prepare to do. I feel like I'm in a good place, although I haven't started a camp, but I am training. I haven't put on too much weight. I'm reasonably fit, and when I do start a camp, I'll be able to hit the ground running. But I will prepare and give it my all whenever a camp does start to make sure I win that title. It is a must-win fight for me. I'm under no illusion there. I have to win the fight.
Can you stop Jamel Herring? Can you stop him?
Yes. Yeah. I think I can. I haven't stopped anyone in a while.
Luke Jackson was the last one.
Luke Jackson. Yeah. I would have stopped McCreary if I didn't have two broken hands. Anytime I put a bit of pressure on him, I had to kind of take the foot off the gas because it was hurting me. But listen, anyone can be stopped in this game with small gloves on. And I think me moving up to super featherweight will just add a little bit.
James Bell, the Boxing Source, here with another video. And this video here is to talk about the words from Carl Frampton as he is preparing to face the WBO super featherweight champion Jamel Herring. And this is part of the IFL TV interview that was conducted yesterday. And, he talks about, if this particular fight between Frampton here and Jamel Herring is a must-win fight, and Frampton feels that it is a must-win fight for him. He is currently at, 27 wins and 2 losses, with those 2 losses being to Leo Santa Cruz in that rematch for the WBA Super Championship at featherweight, and then when he fought Josh Warrington for the IBF Featherweight Championship. And so he moved up in weight in this fight against Tyler McCreary. And after that win that he had, they pretty much had the fight set up between Frampton and Jamel Herring for Jamel Herring's WBO title. They, basically try to, work out those, specifics to make that fight happen. They, are trying to, make it to the point where it will actually be a hometown fight of sorts for Carl Frampton, as, Bob Arum, who is promoting with both Jamel Herring and Carl Frampton, that they want to try to push that fight to be over in Belfast, over in Windsor Park, which was, originally scheduled for June 13th, but that's going to be, pushed back a little bit. So once things kind of pick it back up as far as like the sport of boxing is concerned, we'll see if they'll be able to schedule this particular bout over in Windsor Park. But going from that to the second thing that was brought up in reference to Carl Frampton, and he was asked if he could stop Jamel Herring, and Carl Frampton believes that he can. I'm not all too sure about that, given the fighting style of Jamel Herring, who is a rangy boxer. He is there at 5'10" with a 70-inch reach, in comparison to Frampton, who is 5'5" with a 62-inch reach. So for Carl Frampton to basically get to Jamel Herring, he's going to have to be, squatting down even at 5'5", get even lower, and then try to get to the inside, and then, moves and shifts over to try to get to the body of Jamel Herring in order to see if he could, break Jamel Herring down. But there's also the, thing about the size. We saw the thing with the height when they had, Carl Frampton and Jamel Herring together after Frampton's win, and you have to see how Frampton is going to be able to continue to adapt to the weight as he came up from featherweight while Jamel Herring has pretty much been used to being at the super featherweight division for some time, and he, kind of comes down to super featherweight and trains with the likes of Terrence Bud Crawford, among others, in order to prepare for his fights. We had his last bout against Lamont Roach, which was a mandatory defense there against Lamont Roach, and he was able to get a fairly clear decision win over Lamont Roach Jr. to retain that WBO super featherweight championship. And now with this bout that's kind of being set up to happen over in Belfast, that it will be a opportunity for Jamel Herring to go up and face a notable guy in Carl Frampton, who's had multiple fights of high interest in the sport of boxing. Like I said, with Josh Warrington, the 2 fights with Leo Santa Cruz, the fight against Scott Quigg as well. So that's what we got in reference to Carl Frampton and his comments that were on IFL TV yesterday. You can subscribe to the Boxing Source here on YouTube, or catch the Boxing Source radio show live Sundays, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Blog Talk Radio, or catch the podcast on Anchor.fm, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. On that note, folks, I'm out. Peace.